Where did GED fractions come from in history? Have you ever wondered how fractions became a part of our everyday math? The journey of fractions is fascinating and stretches back thousands of years, long before the general educational development tests were even thought of. The concept of fractions began as a way to representing parts of a whole, which was essential for trade, measurement, and daily life. The earliest known use of fractions dates back to around 1800 before Christ, when the ancient Egyptians used them primarily to measure quantities like grain and land. They had a unique system based on unit fractions, which are fractions with a numerator of 1. Their writing style for fractions was quite different from what we use today, but they operated within a base 10 number system that resembles ours in some ways. Fast forward to around 500 after Christ, and we see the Indians developing a more recognizable form of fractions. They wrote one number above another to representing parts of a whole, similar to how we write fractions today, but without the line separating the numerator and denominator. This method spread through trade routes to the Arab world and eventually made its way to Europe. In Europe, fractions did not become common as standalone numbers until the 17th century. Before that, they were mainly viewed as comparisons between whole numbers. The term fraction itself comes from the Latin word fractio, meaning a breaking or division. This reflects the idea of breaking a whole into parts. For those preparing for the General Educational Development Test, understanding the history of fractions can help appreciate their role in mathematics today. On the mathematical reasoning test, fractions are treated as numbers that representing parts of a whole or parts of a set. You will often need to perform operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division with fractions. Practical applications of fractions on the General Educational Development Test include solving problems involving measurement, ratios, proportions, and converting fractions to decimals or percentages. Knowing that fractions have evolved over time to become a standard part of mathematics helps learners see their importance in everyday problem solving and real-world contexts. So, where did GED fractions come from? They have a rich history that began with ancient civilizations like the Egyptians and Indians. This history shows how fractions evolved through trade and cultural exchange, becoming the numbers we use today in math tests and daily life. Understanding this context supports the general educational development focus on fractions as essential tools for understanding numbers and solving practical problems involving parts of a whole.